Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
In the heart of California's wine country, where rolling hills meet asphalt and silence is broken only by the roar of the engines, lies Sonoma Raceway, a circuit carved from legend. Twisting through the elevation changes and blind apexes, the sports car layout is a serpentine challenge, a test of rhythm and nerve. It's a place where the track doesn't just demand respect, it earns it. This week, the Apex This iRacing League brings its spirited fleet of MAZDA MX-5s to this storied venue, lightweight, nimble, and deceptively fierce. These machines will dance through the carousel, charge up the hill, and thread the needle through the chicane. It's not about brute force, it's about precision, patience, and the poetry of momentum. Sonoma doesn't offer forgiveness, it offers truth, and as the green flag waves, every driver will confront it. Corner by corner, lap by lap, the stage is set, the wine country waits. Let the duel begin. Welcome in. This is Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me tonight as well, we got Adam Gladfelter. You might have seen him a couple times in the past few weeks doing some other work here on Racers Nexus. I covered the Okayama race a couple weeks back for us, Adam, and I think you did a bang-up job.
Man, I appreciate that, and I'm really excited to be back here in the booth. Covering this Apex. This has been really, really fun. These guys are super competitive, as we saw last week at Okayama.
Yeah, the Mazdas, you just throw the Mazdas at any track, any number of drivers, and I think you're going to have a heck of a competitive race. It always seems to work out that way. These slow cars offer a ton of excitement. You can really go door to door, bang against each other, and not really have much worries. But that's what we got looking forward to us here tonight. Sonoma Raceway, newly, I think they rescanned it, plus completely redid the track. So a couple new layouts added. One of those layouts is a sports car layout, which we're doing here tonight. A couple drivers out on track right now in qualifying. But Adam, have you had much chance to drive Sonoma?
Only the NASCAR layout, the new sports car layout. I got on track and did some test driving because I wasn't sure if I was going to be racing this tonight or broadcasting with you in the booth. But man, is it challenging. But the draft, we got plenty of straightaway for the draft to take effect, just like we did at Okayama. So I'm curious to see just what these guys have got up their sleeves tonight.
Yeah, it's I'm just having a look at the track map. I don't know if I've ever actually raced what they call the sports car circuit before. It is a twisting mess of corners here. I'm having a look. We got 18 corners here this evening. and should make for a ton of fun. We got take a look here at the track temperature, 108 degrees Fahrenheit track temp. I guess we are in California, and I believe the conditions were set for sometime roughly late summer, so that translates 70-degree Fahrenheit air temp. Condition is clear, no rain in sight, humidity 65%, shouldn't affect our cars too much. We're at a little bit of an elevation here, but these Mazdas shouldn't be hampered too much by that. Now, you said you've done some laps here in the NASCARs, Adam. They must be a handful to move around a track like this.
Yes, they are. The main thing is going up the S's and going down into what the NASCAR one is like turn 11, you know, the big long hairpin going into the pit road entrance. And especially with it being 108 degrees with these Mazdas tonight, it's going to be a challenge right there. There's going to be a lot of passing being made right there. I guarantee it.
I bet you are correct. This corner right here is what I always seem to have the most trouble in. It doesn't seem to matter what car you're in. This blind left-hand sweeping corner around the hill, really tough. It kind of leads you into a little bit of a false sensation too. If you're in a car that's got a whole lot of downforce, like say a Indy car or any one of the Formula cars, it really feels like you can throw it in there because you got all that downforce working for you, but it just always seems to find a way to lose the back end around there. So I bet you we're going to see a ton of cars off to the right there, and it'll be interesting to see how our drivers fare. But let's take a look here and see what the format is we have for this evening. It's going to be basically the same as what we've been running all season. This is week 6 of 12. 2 heats, 20 minutes each. The top 4, I believe it is, will be inverted for race number 2. Next week, we're going to head to Spa, drastically different track than what we've seen to start the season. Spa is going to be a long lap time in these Mazdas. I think it pushes somewhere around 2 minute 40 seconds, 2 minute 50 seconds. So a lot different than the minute 52 we're seeing here tonight, Adam, at Sonoma.
Oh, yeah, going to be challenging for sure. And back to that, let's see, what turn would that, yeah, it would be, so turn 7, you were just talking about turn 7, that big, wide turn. And these Mazdas, these things have grip until they don't. So, yeah, you're exactly right. You're going to see a bunch of people in the dirt.
Yeah, they have no aero grip, so to say, and they open a huge hole in the air with that no roof, no back window. That just opens up a massive hole in the air, and they get a ton of draft. You can get draft on these things from about, I'm going to say 1.2 seconds back or so from the car ahead of you. So it's really tough to break away in these cars because drivers are always really close and behind. But taking a look at the qualifying times we have coming in, we had DJ Alessandrini up top of qualifying with a 152.2. Josh Soto back again this week. We've missed him for a couple weeks. He's back again. Second place, only 2 100 separating our top 2 drivers, and Michael Chase currently sitting in 4th. John Cooper, nice run by him in 4th. Michael Brock in 6th place. He's got his cheerleader Jen in chat cheering him on. So welcome in, Jen. And then our top and driver right now is Corey Mitchell. Corey looking for a nice race after last week sporting his new Racer Nexus paint scheme. Got racked up in a heavy wreck in heat number 2. So looking for a better race here tonight from Corey.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jonathan Cooper here. He's one of the top runners in the Pro Series, correct?
Coop he's been up near the front battling in the championship standing for Pro. We'll take a look at the Pro standing, or the points championship here in a little moment. Just quickly correcting DJ Alessandrini here into the proper class, as we haven't seen him out yet this season. So there we go, we've got him fixed up. But yeah, John Cooper, a driver who was promoted from the, what we call them, the mid-pack Larrys, the AM drivers, a couple seasons ago up into Pro, and he's been doing well here this season. He's really starting to come to grips with this car and being competitive, usually up near the sharp end of the field here week in, week out in the Mazdas.
Yeah, I've got some favorites that I've been watching here through the, kind of this season, and I'm really liking Kent Kruger. He's, I wouldn't say he's aggressive, but he's very patient. Not a whole lot of mistakes from Kent, as we see him on the broadcast in the grass. Yeah, that's a broadcaster's curse there. And Mark Miller, man, he had one heck of a performance last week as well.
Yeah, Mark Miller, we usually see him towards the sharp end. Right now, sitting in 10th place, so some room for improvement there for Mark. But as you mentioned, Kent Kruger, our chief admin for Apex, he's I guess what do you want to? I don't want to say the epitome of cautious, but Kent, a wily veteran, will say, more apt to take the more conservative route as far as making an overtake than really trying to push the envelope. And it's been working out well for Kent. The Mazdas have always been a strong car for Kent, as we've seen in seasons past. The last couple of seasons where we've done the Porsches and we've done the what did we do last season? The Ferrari 296 Challenge car, where it didn't really jive with Kent all that much, struggled to come to grips with the pace in those cars. But we've seen as we went back to the Mazdas, Kent really strong in the AM class, currently our second place driver in AM, and I believe he's going to come into this one either first or second in the AM points too as well.
Yes, he's a very conservative driver. I've seen that in the last few races that I've watched, and yeah, it really pays off.
So we'll keep an eye on Kent, as we've only got about 10 seconds to go in qualifying. Only a few more drivers left on track. Sean Teeter, he's going to pull it off, call it quits. Kevin Zhu, we haven't seen him out for a number of weeks too as well. High ranked driver, currently sitting in 9th place. But time in scoring, going to click over to end qualifying. We'll give it a second here to reset, and then we'll have a look at the grid. So 2 20-minute heats coming our way, Adam. I suspect we're going to see a lot of drivers really push the envelope in the first race. It always seems to be the way it is. Drivers really getting excited to get racing, and that's where we see a lot of the carnage kick off early on.
Oh yeah, and they're way more aggressive, I think. The first run, just kind of got to get a feel of things. Depends on how much practice they had going into this. But some guys, they, hey, where can I really make these passes at for the second heat, and what works, what doesn't?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our grid. DJ Alessandrini going to start us off on pole. He'll have Joshua Soto to his outside. Michael Chase and Jonathan Cooper are going to make up a row 2 in 3rd and 4th place. Michael Brock in 5th with Roman Bykoff in 6th. Kelly Greenhoe in 7th with Ozik Sulu in 8th. Kevin Zhu in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Mark Miller. 11th place goes to Joseph Barr, and 12th place, Sean Teeter. Why don't you take us through the next 12 drivers, Adam?
Corey Mitchell's going to be starting in the 13th spot, followed by a good driver to 14th spot, Brian Zinn. Kent Kruger in the 15th spot. And let's see here. Oh, there we go. Spencer Bodewin, 16th. 17th is going to go to Joshua Smith, followed by, in the 18th spot, Dylan Foster. Ova Hale in 19th, followed by Chris King in 20th position. Aaron Sunday, 21st. Stan Hammonds, 22nd. Carrick Ball, 23rd. And Benjamin Dewar in 24th.
25th, and rounding out the field is going to be Michael Vincula. We've seen Michael in the last couple of weeks, but hasn't gridded up, so we'll keep an eye and see whether he's going to join us here this evening. But we're just waiting for a couple more drivers to join the grid here, Adam, and then we'll be getting underway. There we go. The field's starting to pull away. We'll hop on board here with the pace car as the pace car leads them around. So 2 20-minute heats. Any driver you got your eye on here to be maybe moving up through the field from mid-pack or farther back, Adam?
Yeah, I think this is going to be in Roman Bykov's territory here. He looked really, really good in practice, so I'm curious to see what Roman Bykov has.
Roman Bykov, the silver Coors Lightning machine, the silver bullet, always entertaining. Once upon a time, many seasons ago, Roman was a bit of a weapon on track, but it's been nice to see that he's going to calm that down the last couple seasons. But we got a couple camera cars on board here with her this evening. One of them is Kelly Greeno. We got Kelly on board here, starting in 6th place for him, or sorry, 7th place for Kelly. And then our other driver we have an on board with, just trying to find him quickly through timing and scoring. There he is, Stan Hammonds, back from holiday quick at the last second. He's hopped in. Maybe starting a little farther back in the field, so we'll keep our eye on those drivers. But we mentioned earlier on we have a points championship going on. Let's take a look at how that shapes out coming into this one while we're on our pace lap. First, let's take a look at who we got here coming up. looks like the mid-pro Larrys are AM drivers. Kent Kruger comes into this one leading it with 5 points over Joshua Smith in second place. Aaron Sunday only 2 points back, so top three really battling it out. We got a bit of a gap to Uwe Hale in fourth, Corey Mitchell in fifth, and then you can see the rest of the drivers there all the way down into, we got 20 drivers putting points on the board so far on the AM side. And then over on the pro side, Adam, we've got Brian Lemke coming into this one with 7-point lead over Kelly Greenhoe. Jonathan Cooper, as you mentioned, having a strong season in third place, only 1 point back of Greenhoe. Then Roman Bykoff in fourth, and Brian Zinn in fifth. Then a bit of a drop off there to Mark Miller, Sam Swan, and Michael Chase. A couple drivers who have had some incidents, maybe missed a week or two here or there.
Yeah, I wonder what Brian Lemke's going to miss this race. Looks like I'm not sure. I believe they do have some drop week, so it shouldn't hurt him too bad.
Yeah, Lemke not in the field so far this week, so he's going to lose a couple points. But yeah, they get so there's four drop weeks, which works out to about 8 points races. So they get points for each one of the heats that we have here this season. So there's two heats, and they get points for each one. So they get 8 drop races out of the what it works out to be 24 races for the season.
Right,
so yeah,
yep.
They have a lot of room there for either missing a week or having a bad week. But speaking of weeks, we're heading into the final corner. The pace car going to duck off into the pace lane there. That was very sharply driven by Barney, the pace driver. But DJ Alessandrini and Joshua Soto are going to lead them around to green here. We'll get our first heat of 20 minutes underway. This is a go on green league, so the drivers have to maintain their speed until we get the green flag. It's not under the leader's discretion. So we've seen drivers get penalized for that before. Alessandrini, Soto been in the league for a while, so they're well aware of the rules. There we go. Green is out and we're off. So Alessandrini, Soto going to lead them around up into turn 1 and 2. This is a tricky section here, Adam. Kind of blind coming up to the top of the corner, so hopefully all of our drivers can get through here. We'll keep an eye on them as they head back through the field. Looks like so far so good. A couple drivers dropping some tires out on the left side into the grass, but for the most part, it looks like everybody's still going.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to figure it out and get single file, at least for the top 10. Oh, we got a spin back there in about the 8th or 9th spot. Calamity corner.
Yeah, it looks like Kent Kruger, Corey Mitchell, Uwe Hale involved. Or no, Hale started in pits, Joseph Marr. And I just mentioned that's a blind corner there and easy to lose the back end of your car through there. But DJ Alessandrini, he got through cleanly and he's out front. Joshua Soto in tow, Michael Chase there, Jonathan Cooper in tow as well. Our top 7 drivers all still where they qualify, no moving from them. But once we hit the 8th place, that's where we start to see some of the drivers picking up positions by virtue of attrition here, as we already have 4 drivers out of this one early on, Adam.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top 8 right here, all single file, and then it's everybody trying to battle back there behind each other. But I've noticed that in a lot of races here, early on, the top 5 or 6, they just go out and they spread out from the rest. They just gap the rest of the field, and they really run like that until the last 5 minutes or so, and then they really start battling hard.
Yeah, it's a good strategy in these cars. As we mentioned early on, where the draft is just so strong in these cars. You really want to try and get out to that gap. It looks like something happened between Kevin Zhu and Roman Bykoff. Let's go back here and take a quick look at that.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the pre-race broadcast here.
Oh, Zhu tried to send it up the inside. Greeno just tagged
yes, he did.
The back quarter of Bykoff there. Unfortunately, that's going to send Bykoff around. So Kevin doing the right thing, though, waiting for Bykoff to get himself turned back around, and then he's going to carry on. So gentlemanly racing there by Zhu after he took out his fellow driver, but that's going to cost Bykoff one of your top picks for this race.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but good sportsmanlike conduct out of the other driver to let him get by before continuing on. Bykoff currently in the 18th spot now.
Yeah, he's fallen back 12 positions from where he started. But our biggest mover right now was also our last car into the session here. Stan Hammonds hopped back in after holidays. Stan, you'll find him in the booth here sometimes with me broadcasting Left Turn Racing on Wednesday nights. So he's moved up 10 spots right now into 12th place. He's got Spencer Bodway just up ahead of him. So we'll be looking to try and take that spot away from Bodway. Spencer going to try and hold him back as long as he can, but right now Spencer looks like he's in for a bit of a fight here as we look back from Spencer's rear bumper.
Yeah, Stan Hammonds, he's pretty quick in these Mazdas. Watched him in practice a little bit. And he's definitely got a good head on his shoulders as far as the technical corners go here at Sonoma.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that battle on the main screen. We got the leaders on the bottom, DJ Alessandrini, Joshua Soto, still fairly status quo between them. Soto, Chase, Cooper, Brock, all the top 5 kind of where they qualified right now. It looks like the battle for the most part right now, Adam, is kind of mid-pack here. We got Brian Zinn leading Spencer Bodway, Stan Hammonds. They've got Sean Teeter, Ozzik Sulu just up ahead of them. So we've got about 6 cars here separated by about half a second, 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, we do. And looks like Stan Hammonds trying to make that pass on Spencer Bodwin right now. Backs out just a little bit as they're going up the elevations in those S's. Really trying to, bide his time and try to make it through there as calmly as possible.
Yeah, it's a very twisty track, but it doesn't really have any heavy, I'm going to say really brake zones to try and dive up underneath. Try and dive up underneath the car ahead of it as we see Hammonds losing the back end there. He gets it collected up, but other than, I guess, maybe turn 17 and potentially up through turn 1 into turn 2, you don't really have a whole lot of heavy overtaking opportunities here, Adam.
Yep, it's I think just 17 and the turn 2 to 3 and 4. Everything else is just a slow move S and slow corners, about 50 to 60 miles per hour. And I think that's where the most accidents are going to occur because like in these Mazdas, you've got grip until you don't. So pushing the issue early and having these hot temperatures could set you up for failure.
Yeah, and it's very easy to overheat the tires quickly on the Mazdas. They don't have the new tire model that iRacing's been introducing over the last couple seasons with the GT3s, the GT4s. I think NASCAR's got them either this season or last season. The GTP machines where you can slide the car, the tires will heat up, but then they quickly go back to more normalized temperatures, where these Mazda tires, you heat them up, they're going to be real slidey and greasy for about a good lap or so until you get those tire temps down. So the cars naturally want to slide a lot, Adam. As you said, they don't have a whole lot of aero. You're kind of relying on mechanical grip, which again, they don't have much mechanical grip either, as they're running really pizza cutter type width tires on these things.
Yeah, so going up the S's here, you overheat those tires pretty badly. Going down the elevation, like turns 11 through 16, now you're really going to feel you're really going to have the consequences of those hot tires, and it's going to be a disaster. Absolutely. If you ever shoot it.
This section here, you definitely don't want to have those greasy, slippery tires going through turns 7 and 8. We were talking earlier. It's hard enough to keep the car on track as it is, but losing the back end through there would not be optimal. But we got this pack still holding strong up front. Kelly Greenhoe trying to catch up to these guys in 6th place, just kind of trailing off the back end of this pack. He's up 1 spot. Virtue of that incident we saw between Zhu and Bykoff early on. Kelly Greenhoe was just in behind Bykoff, managed to avoid that send by Kevin Zhu where he just kind of tapped Bykoff. He's trying to join that top pack right now. Michael Brock is the last car on that pack in tow with Jonathan Cooper. Greenhoe about 1.7 seconds back, so he's got about half a second to make up here, Adam, before he can really get into the draft. But if they start to battle up ahead of him, that can let him reel them in very quickly. As we see Greenhoe just sliding into the background, doing absolutely what we said he doesn't want to do, and overheat those tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Kelly Greenhoe currently in the 6th spot, but hey, we're not even halfway in this heat. So he's got plenty of time, and he's there if someone in front of him makes a mistake.
Yeah, it's very easy to catch up quickly if you have that mistake of the driver up ahead of them. So we'll see if Kelly's able to reel them back in. Let's go a little farther back in the pack and take a look at our AM leader, Joshua Smith. He's got himself out to a nice gap here right now, 2.3 or 2.9, almost, there it is, 3 seconds now over second place Aaron Sunday. Both those drivers came in towards the top of the AM points with Kent Kruger leading the way. Kent was involved in that early wreck that we saw take out him, Corey Mitchell, Joseph Meyer, and I believe Carrick Ball might have been involved in that one too as well. So definitely a chance for Joshua Smith to close in that points championship on Kent Kruger here after this race. Now let's see if we can actually take a look at what happened early on to cause that issue with Kent Kruger, Corey Mitchell, and the like. So on board here with Kent Kruger in the multicolored green, black, yellow machine. Oh, looks like Joseph Meyer up ahead got spun, and Mitchell and Kruger nowhere to go there, and they went off. So potentially, I think Mark Miller might have kicked that thing off. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. So the 000 was Joseph Meyer. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, looks like he just got into it with the 911. That was Oz Exulu. So Mar and Exulu went door to door. That got Mar squirrely, and Mitchell and Kruger nowhere to go after that. Let's pop back up here to our leaders. DJ still leading the way, only 4/10 over Joshua Soto. Soto hanging in tow. Usually we see DJ kind of walk away from these races. Comes into this with 7.4 I rating. Usually a very competitive driver. Usually manages to find himself breaking away from the gap of the cars in behind. So looks like we've lost Adam, a power outage into his area. So hate to see that. We'll see if maybe he can connect later on. But thanks, Jennifer, for letting us know. Otherwise, we'll continue on. DJ leading the way. Over Soto, over Chase. Now those three starting to break away from Jonathan Cooper, Michael Brock, and Kelly Greenhoe in behind. So right now, looks like the battle up front could be down to 3 drivers. So pop back a little bit farther as Stan Hammonds finally found his way around Spencer Bodway. Took him a number of laps to do it. It looks like he's finally managed to do that. We'll see now if Hammond's able to reel in Brian Zinn up ahead. Pop back on our picture-in-picture. We'll keep the leaders on the bottom. So that's Alan Sandrini, Soto, and Chase in your bottom screen. Up top, we've got Stan Hammonds trying to chase down Brian Zinn up ahead with Spencer Bodway in tow. Let's go on board here with Bodway and see what he's having a look at up ahead. As these drivers head in through turn 11, 12, 13, and 14. Section kind of similar, very eerily reminiscent of another track. I guess you call it VIR, where they have the snake and the S's. Very similar through that section, 11, 12, 13, where you really have to stay tucked in behind the driver ahead. There's not really an opportunity to make a pass through that section. So it looks like Hammond's going to have to work a little harder to make up that position, but up ahead of them, we got Mark Miller and Oz Exulu battling it out. Mark Miller in the white and black machine, Exulu in the yellow and black. We saw Exulu get wrapped up in that incident early on with Joseph Meyer, where they went door to door up through turn 2 on lap 1. Exulu was able to keep going. Joseph Meyer, unfortunately, into the wall, had to pop into the pits, pick up his spare car before he can continue on. Miller been able to hold off the charge from Exulu. Miller up 4 spots where he qualified. So nice race right now for Mark Miller. We mentioned it early on. Adam mentioned that Miller usually one of the strong drivers in the league, and is showing that exactly why right now. Being able to hold off Oz Exulu, a driver who was promoted to the pro class this season due to his great performances the last couple seasons. So hats off to Oz Exulu. Well done for him. Let's see if he can chase down Mark Miller up ahead. Let's pop back here as that battle between Hammonds and Zinn starting to reel in Miller and Exulu. See Zinn going defensive. He's going to force Hammonds around the outside. He's going to want that position. Zinn going to have the inside line for the first corner, but Hammond's unable to get to Zinn's door, which would have gave him the optimal line through the S's here. Hammond's going to have to try and regroup to try and force that mistake by Zinn up top. Let's pop on board here, bring Hammonds in. on his camera. So we got Adam Glatfelter back in here. Welcome back in, Adam.
Yes, sir. We got some bad weather here, and it knocked all the power out, so we're good.
Well, we're glad to have you back. You missed some door-to-door action, but we're still banging away here as we're at 13 minutes into this one. I'm gonna have to fix my timing and scoring there. This is lap 8 of 99. We're not doing 99
looks like
laps. We're gonna do maybe 12 or 13 laps here.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like you got on the screen here, Stan Hammond's trying to do something with Brian Zinn, just waiting for a mistake to happen. I did see that he was side by side. Just kind of backed out on it.
Yeah, they were door-to-door last time coming through here. Zinn was able to hold off Hammond, so we'll see if Hammond finds a way to work himself up there again. Again, both these drivers you can catch here throughout the week, broadcasting different races on Racers Nexus, so a little bit of company racing here going on. We'll keep an eye on them. Things up front, though, DJ Alessandrini still leading over Joshua Soto. They're starting to break away from Michael Chase and Jonathan Cooper, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top two drivers. They've been really strong since the drop of the green flag. And, you know, I'm not surprised, Rob, seeing these guys break away, because this is more of a technical track than it is a drafting track. So, I mean, to see these tandem getaways throughout the field is, I think, to be expected.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the second race when we get the invert right now, the top 4 invert, which will put Jonathan Cooper, this is assuming everybody finishes in the position they're in right now, Jonathan Cooper and Michael Chase would be in the front row. So it'll be interesting to see if they could kind of work together to pull away from Alessandrini and Soto, like Alessandrini and Soto are doing here now in heat number 1. But we still have a ways to go. So we got 5 minutes left to go in this heat. Again, that's the story up front, but a little further back in the pack, Mark Miller still trying to hold off Ozzie Sulu, but Brian Zinn, Stan Hammond, Spencer Bodway, they're quickly reeling them in. We're going to have a 5-car battle here now, Adam, shaping out for 6th place in a matter of moments.
Oh yeah, it's exciting to watch. And like I said earlier, I believed that they were gonna, you know, really start pushing the envelope on making passes with the last 5 minutes remaining. They were gonna really, you know, the tires are up the temp. It's time to go. It's time to make these bold moves into the corners, you know, trying to be on the inside, going into the next corner to prevail and try to get these spots in the last minute.
Yeah, time is of the essence here. They're doing just under 2-minute laps, so about 3 laps left, including the one they're on here now. So 2 more once they get to the line. So as you mentioned, it is go time now. No more time for waiting as we see Ozzie Sulu. He's starting to understand the assignment. They're really putting some pressure on the back of Mark Miller as they head through 7 and 8. Zinn and Hammond's kind of falling back off a little bit. So we'll see here what kind of pressure Exulu can put on as they head into turn 9. It's a bit of an overtaking opportunity here. One of the few where you can get a run and try and late break that driver and cut an inside line. Is really the normal line there, Adam, is to really bleed out real far to the left, try and late apex that second corner.
Yep. And try to make as straight as exit as you can to get power down through these S's, which looks like Mark Miller did. He's got a little bit more of a gap now over Exulu than he did. And then, I mean, Oz is just waiting for an opportunity for him to bobble. He's there.
Yeah, it looks like Exulu seems to be a little better on the braking, or he's just diving it in to the corners a little deeper than
Harder.
Miller. Yeah, where it's kind of compromising his exit, where we're seeing, as you mentioned, Mark Miller getting a little more of a gap out of the exit. Is he able to get back into the throttle a little sooner? Exulu having to wait that extra half a second or so by virtue of taking that late move into the braking zone. So we'll see if maybe he adjusts. Right now it's working out in Miller's favor, but Exulu looks like he might have the overall more raw pace than Miller has right now.
Yeah, especially through these technical corners going up through these S's right here, really, really closes in to the back of his bumper. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, with Mark Miller to get around him, because he just makes his car so wide going down through the technical stuff. It's just hard to make the pass.
Yeah, you can see there all 5 cars, you can basically throw a blanket on them for the most part. They're very close on track, but they're starting to catch up into some lap traffic. I believe that is
Over Hill.
Who's that? Uwe Hill, yeah, up ahead. We'll see how he plays. Looks like he might be pulling off to the side here.
Oh, yep.
No, he's not. Actually,
No, he's in there. He's in the groove. There he goes.
I thought he was going to pull off there, but look like he waited that extra second. That's going to actually bunch them up even more. As looks like we lost Spencer Bodway off the back of this pack now. So now it's only 4 cars battling out for 6th place, but they're going to have this lap plus 1 more. So it's going to be interesting here to see how this shapes out, Adam, getting down to the crunch time. As our leaders now, they're heading into the final section. They'll be heading across the line to pick up the white flag here momentarily. So it's go time here for Exulu. If he's got anything left to offer from Mark Miller, this is the time he needs to bring it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for this really aggressive braking here into 17 to try to at least get to the bumper of Mark Miller going up through the S's. This is only opportunity. As you can see, he really closes up to him now. This is the closest he's been. Oh, Mark Miller in the wall. This is gonna put Exulu side by side going to the S's, what we wanted to see.
Yeah, there they are, side by side. Miller on the inside. So he can get the better run. Let's see if Exulu can out-lake break him. He's trying.
He's going to
Couldn't
try.
quite get the move up the inside, though. He's going to have to hold.
And that's going to open the door.
Yeah, it's going to
Brian Zinn.
He might lose 2 spots here to Zinn and Hammonds.
Yeah, he's not in the preferred position right now to do anything to defend against Hammonds and Zinn, and yeah, he's going to lose both those spots. Unfortunate.
He might even lose a 3rd one here to Spencer Bodway. So that's, I guess the hand you're kind of dealt sometimes, Adam, where you have to take that chance. You have to try and make that move. But unfortunately for Oz Exulu, I don't know if maybe he's got suspension damage there. The car was looking kind of loose, squirrely the last couple corners. But
yeah, it was.
That's the kind of thing that can happen when you're that close battling on track with a number of cars. You make one mistake, it's easy to lose a number of positions. So we'll see if he's able to regroup from that one on heat number 2, the feature race coming up. But right now, not the way Oz was envisioning this one ending up for him.
Yeah, and we got a really close battle here between Zinn and Hammonds as they're side by side going down through the S's.
Yeah, we'll pop back to that.
And they're door to door.
Second here as the leaders heading into the final corner to take the checkered flag. DJ going to take the win here just over Joshua Soto. So well done by him. Then we'll pop back to this battle here between Hammonds and Zinn. Looks like Zinn was able to hold on. Spencer Bodway making the move in the last corner. He's going to take that spot away.
Spencer got that spot.
Nice move by him at the last second. That's going to get him back up into 8th. It's a drag race to the line. Looks like Spencer Bodway going to hold on to that position.
Some fantastic defense moves by these guys.
Yeah, well done by all those drivers. Joshua Smith going to come home top spot in AM class in 12th overall. Michael Brock, unfortunate for him, he's fallen down to 13th place. I didn't quite see what happened to him here. Let's take a quick look. He went off track here. This was early on. Oh, that was early on. Well, I went back looking for what happened at the start, but unfortunate for Michael Brock, he was battling up in the top 4, but what could have been for him? Just waiting for a couple more drivers here, Adam, to finish up, and then we'll have our first heat race done.
Yep, and looks like Jonathan Cooper, he's on the invert. He's going to be starting in the first position with Michael Chase to his outside. How about that?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do now starting out front. It's going to make Allison Drini and Soto have to make a couple passes at least if they want to go back-to-back, finishing 1st and 2nd for heat number 2. So we'll see how that plays out. We're just waiting for Joseph Marr to cross the line, and then that should make us official here for race number 1 as we leave the rest of the drivers all finished up a lap down, and they are already complete. So Joseph across the line will make us official for heat number 1. Let's take a look at the results, and we get the official ruling here on who's going to start on pole. So there we go. DJ Alessandrini finishes in top spot. Joshua Soto in 2nd. Michael Chase in 3rd. And Jonathan Cooper in 4th. As Adam mentioned, Cooper and Chase will start on the front row. Everybody else will finish or start where they finish. That means Greenhoe 5th, Miller 6th, Zinn 7th, Bodway in 8th, Hammonds in 9th, and Exulu will be rounding out the top 10. That mid top 10 is going to be interesting as we saw them battling towards the last 5 minutes or so of the race, Adam. Be interested to see how much door-to-door racing we get from them heading into heat number 2.
Oh, it's gonna be some extreme door-to-door racing. I have a feeling. I wonder. So Stan Hammonds picked up a bunch of spots. He's gonna be starting ninth, so he's in the mix for race number 2.
We got Stan Hammonds in the booth here now. Stan, heck of a race. You showed up last minute there to join the field, start at the back. You're able to get yourself solidly up in the top 10, but it looks like Spencer Bodway got you at the end.
Yeah, man, golly, that last lap battle for about 6th or 7th place there was like 5 of us in the mix for it. It was a great battle. And I was racing with Zen into the final chicane, and we were side by side. We were pretty close, probably touching wing mirrors. And I swear, I don't know if it was netcode or if we actually touched, but it was like the wheel got yanked out of my hand and went like full right while we were making that right-hander. So that cost me a lot of momentum just trying to figure that out. And in that amount of time, Spencer got me. So it was good hard racing and just came out kind of at the bad end of it. But it was a lot of fun. Even with that going on, it was a lot of fun. It just was unexpected to have the wheel snatched out of my hands so hard the way that it was.
Now you're going to start this one a little closer to the front. You think you got anything to offer for our top 4 who are going to invert up there?
DJ's fast, man. DJ is crazy fast. So I doubt that I'm going to be able to keep up with him. My only hope is that people will hold him up and, maybe we can all kind of stay in the mix. And, if we can get to the first lap without a wreck, and if DJ isn't leading by the end of the first lap, then maybe. But if he gets out front, he's gone. Like, just raw pace, raw lap time. I was watching him. He was in, like, the low 52s most of the race. And I think my best lap all race was a 52.9 maybe. I don't remember. But it was not on par with him. So something needs to happen to him. That's the short version. If anybody wants to make something happen to him, then send me your Venmo and I'll make a donation. But that's about all I got for him. It's dirty tactics, I think.
Best of luck to you, buddy. We're gonna see if we can snatch Corey Mitchell in here quick to chat with him, and we'll see you maybe at the sharp end again at the end of this race.
Yeah, make sure you ask him how his headache's doing. It looked like he got in a pretty big wreck there on lap 1. It looked like it hurt.
We'll ask him.
See ya.
That was Stan Hammonds. Let's bring in quickly Corey Mitchell. Corey, you got us?
Yeah, what's up?
We were just talking to Stan Hammonds about his race. We saw you got wrapped up in something early on. Stan wanted us to ask if you had a little bit of a headache from that collision you were involved in.
Yeah. Man, it was pretty bad. I think Kent got it worse, though.
You're starting at the near the tail. You think you're going to get avoid the carnage this race and get yourself up towards the front?
I was just thinking about that. Back in the day when I was, top 5-ish pro, your chances of surviving that lap 1 was so much higher, and that's definitely something I'm struggling to get used to. Midfield is you really have to be careful not to get involved in other people's messes. So I'm just gonna have to kind of learn that.
Yeah, this turn 1, turn 2 section's very tricky. It's really a blind right-hand corner up the top of the hill there. That's where you got wrapped up in it. So hopefully you can get through it this race, Corey. Best of luck. We hope to see you move yourself up through the field, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the race.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Have a good one.
So that was Corey Mitchell and Stan Hammonds. Adam, what do we think we're going to see here this race?
Well, looks like we had a guy not grid up in the 3rd spot. Let's see, DJ did not grid up there.
No, DJ's on track. Joshua Soto didn't grid up.
Oh,
was our
Joshua Soto,
second
yeah.
place finisher, yeah. So it looks
Well,
like
that's unfortunate. He's got a
maybe
lot of
pit
ground to make up.
start. Yeah, maybe a pit start for him, maybe not, but that's going to promote Brian Zinn, I believe it is, up into 4th place.
Yeah, but, you know, for Stan Hammond, Spencer Bodwin, and, you know, Brian Zinn, Mark Miller, and all them, they needed that extra guy that was fast and aggressive on track to try to hold up DJ.
Absolutely. We're on our pace lap now. We didn't get a chance to mention it beforehand, but let's give a little shout out to our sponsors, Apex Sim Racing. You can find yourself a 5% discount code in the description of the video. They offer button boxes, wheelbases, wheels, sim rigs, chassis, seats, computer systems itself, basically everything you need to get yourself onto sim racing and into the any of the various leagues we cover here during the week. Again, the 5% discount code in the description. Use the referral link too as well, and you can cash in on some nice savings there at Apex Sim Racing. And as usual, week in, week out, our cameras provided by TrackCam for Gourmet. You might actually recognize some shots similar to any of the real life racing around here. He goes his way to copy those shots. You can get as realistic racing action as you can see. Track cams for Gourmet. Thank you again for that. So here we go, Adam. A couple more corners to go. Another 20 minutes. Basically, everybody who is fairly quick amongst each other at the end of the race is going to be starting side by side in this one. So we should see a lot more argy-barginess right from the get-go.
Absolutely, and there's some guys that were started in the back that worked their way up. So I'm just curious to see what Stan Hammonds and Oz Exulu's got going on for these guys here in this second stint. And Mark Miller seemed to be pretty fast, along with Kelly Greenhoe.
Keep an eye on what's going on with them. And we'll just pop Kelly off here and we'll throw the picture-in-picture up. So we got our leader, Jonathan Cooper, up on the main screen, and then on the inlay, sorry, we're going to have that mid-pack battle between Hammond, Zinn, Bodway, Exulu, Miller, all those guys there. So keep an eye on what's going on with them. But Miller and Chase lead them to the green flag. Green flag is out, Adam, and we're underway here. Heat number 2, another 20 minutes action coming our way.
Here we go, 3 wide here going. Oh, as we got some contact there. Looks like about 10th place, 3 wide going up into turn number 2. That yellow and black car of Oz Exulu backs out of that. He says, "No, sir, I don't want any part of this." This is the technical part with these cold tires. This is where we saw that exit earlier.
Yeah, it looked like Kent Kruger had another little off-track excursion there. He's fallen all the way down to the back, so his car looking fairly clean, but looked like he had to avoid a couple drivers there early on. But Jonathan Cooper, our pole sitter, getting himself out to a bit of a jump here already, Adam. He's got 8 tenths over second place. Michael Chase, DJ Alessandrini already got himself up into 3rd place, already putting some pressure on Michael Chase in behind.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jonathan Cooper was able to get away this quickly before even lap 1. But that's quite a gap that we didn't see in the first heat. So he's going to be aggressive and try to get away from these guys.
You know what he would love to see? He'd love to see a battle right now between Chase and Alessandrini in behind that would actually allow him to pull away. That's absolutely what Cooper would love to see right now. But it looks like Chase starting to reel in Cooper. He's going to bring Alessandrini and Greenhoe in tow too as well. So what Jonathan Cooper would have loved to see doesn't look like it's going to come to fruition here.
Yep, a lot of side-by-side just make that parachute even larger for him to at least probably get another couple tenths on him. But yeah, they're to his bumper now.
Yeah, they're right there. There's Michael Chase sticking his nose up the inside. Cooper getting a little more better exit there, utilizing the full width of the track, where Chase had to kind of bail, or not bail, he had to wait that extra half a second before he could really get back into throttle, really put the pressure on. But now we see Alessandrini now. He's trying to find a way around Chase right now. He realizes that his best opportunity right now is to get up front and try and run away from these guys. The longer he has to battle with them, that's going to keep the cars in behind with an opportunity to make moves.
That's right. Yeah, they're looking, these guys behind him, you know, 4th place, Kelly Greenhoe, Brian Zinn, Spencer Bodwin. They're just looking for these guys to make a mistake. All that battle between Alessandrini and Chase have brought those guys right up to him. But Alessandrini, he can't get by him right now.
Yeah, he's trying. Michael Chase doing a
Oh, that's going to do it.
Michael Chase doing a defensive
Defensive line.
Jeez, I lost my word there. Doing a defensive seminar here on how to defend off DJ Alessandrini. He's going to try and make him go the long way around. But if Alessandrini can stay door to door here with Chase, he'd have the opportune line. But yeah, you mentioned a little argy-bargy there, door to door action. Got Alessandrini a little squirrely. That's going to put Greenhoe now right up into this battle.
And that's going to put Cooper 1.1 seconds ahead of these guys. That's exactly what he wants to see. That's exactly what he wants to see.
There we go. Get the right driver on board here with Kelly Greenhoe as he's trying to find a way around Alessandrini too as well. I think if I was Kelly Greenhoe, what I would do right now is I would say stay tucked in behind Alessandrini as much as you can. Don't really force the issue. Let DJ try and force the way through. For all you know, they might get a little argy-bargy up there, touch some mirrors, touch some doors, bumpers, and multiple cars go off, and you just kind of walk away through right now. I wouldn't be trying to really force the issue if I was Greenhoe. You got a bit of a gap over Zinn and Hammonds in behind, who are probably thinking along the same lines right now. They see those three drivers up ahead, how real squirrely and competitive they're being right now over those top three positions. All it takes is a little tap here, and you can pick up a number of spots very easily.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Rob. If I was Kelly Greenhoe, I'd sit right behind DJ and let him open that door, and I'd be right there to capitalize. But we've got Brian Zinn and Stan Hammonds. They're staying really, really close to these top four. So they're also there to pounce as soon as the time allows.
Yeah, they've been able to get right back into this battle now that Alessandrini and Chase have really been battling it out. That's allowed them to get right back up into this battle. But Cooper, not without feeling any pressure, though. He's got that battle going on behind him, but he hasn't been able to really pull away. I thought with them battling in behind that it allowed Cooper to really open up that gap, but we see Alessandrini finally has made his way around Chase. Now, we'll see if he's able to reel back in Cooper, and if so, if he brings multiple cars with him at the same time.
Yeah, Alessandrini made an aggressive move down into turn 9 to get underneath Michael Chase, and that brought all 6 of those cars nose to tail. And I don't think that Cooper's got the raw speed that Alessandrini or Michael Chase have. So once they go single file, they catch up to him quite easily. But he's definitely going to need that side by side battle to pull away.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see in the background there, Zinn and Hammonds going door to door in behind. So that's going to cost them time to the leaders up ahead. They're going to want to try and get that settled as quickly as possible. But as you mentioned, Alessandrini putting a ton of pressure on Cooper right now. Cooper been able to hold him off, but it's only a matter of how much time you can deal with that pressure. Eventually, you're going to make a mistake. The more you have to watch through your mirrors at the car in behind you, Adam, that's going to cost you time. As we see Coop going off wide into the grass. This could be it here. Alessandrini looks at the inside, but right now, unable to make that pass. Coop's going to fight back.
Yeah, he put the throttle down once he got off track there to keep that position. That's the best thing he could have done.
So Coop doing what he needs to do, making that car as wide as possible, but it's only a matter of how long he's going to be able to do it. Alessandrini looking to the inside, unable to make that move, but he's getting some pressure from Michael Chase in behind. Ooh. So Coop going way out wide
way wide.
Alessandrini almost touched his right rear coming through there, but actually looked like it worked out for Coop as Alessandrini had to back out, cost him a little bit of time. That's going to put him back into the clutches of Michael Chase.
And we're almost halfway here in this race, and yet you can see the pressure being put on Cooper now. You can see the mistakes he's making, and I can almost guarantee you, Rob, he's watching that mirror, and he's doing more mirror watching now that Alessandrini's there than he was previously, because that's his stiffest competition right now.
Absolutely. He's watching the mirrors more than he would like to. That's probably why he went off track a little earlier on in the last lap. Actually, the section they're coming up into now is where Cooper went off wide through turn 2, that blind right-hand sweeping corner. So we'll see if DJ tries to pressure him again here, try and force that mistake this time. I don't know if he'll be so kind about not sticking the nose up the inside, but it looks like Coop able to make it through. But Alessandrini getting the better run through there. He's going to try and get side by side with Coop. It cost him a little bit of time. Michael Chase now trying to make that move to the inside.
As we've got a 6-car breakaway now until we get back to 3 more cars, all single file. They're trying to do what they can, not really making any passes back there. Just trying to get that draft going to catch back up to these top 6.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they fight here as we see Alessandrini trying to make the move around the outside of Cooper. Now, we've seen him try this a couple of times. Last time he almost got into the corner of Coop, but I think he's got more overlap this time. But Coop taking the sharper line through that corner again. Alessandrini might get a better run or exit through there. He's going to carry more pace, but it's really difficult to make a pass through this section here. It's hard to go 2x2 as you're really having to use the full track width to maintain your pace through there. But we'll see what kind of run Alessandrini gets is setting up here for potentially into turn 17. The last corner, that hairpin where you can really dive up onto the inside. I think we might see a move this time as we go on board here with Alessandrini.
Yeah, Alessandrini had a really good exit off of 10 and 11. Just could not do anything to capitalize on that position. I don't think he's in a good spot right here. Being on the outside of this hairpin turn going into 17, they're side by side. But you know what? Going up to these S's, 1, 2, and 3, he's in the prime location. So he's definitely going to take that spot as you see there on the screen.
And Alessandrini finally going to make that pass pay off up into top spot. Cooper going to slot into second, but he's got a ton of pressure from Chase. Greenhoe is in behind. He's maybe lost a little bit of pressure from Alessandrini, but what he lost, he's going to pick right back up from Michael Chase. Chase sweeps over to the right side, trying to fill Cooper's mirrors the best he can. Up over the curbs they go, and we're quickly seeing DJ Alessandrini. Once he got out front, he's been able to open up a bit of a gap over Cooper in behind. As we're here, it's like Stan Hammonds might have gotten into the back of Brian Zinn. He's got some damage on his left front now.
He did. He got in, actually. He got into Kelly Greenhoe going in that corner. He was side by side with Brian Zinn. Got into Kelly Greenhoe just a little bit. Had to back out.
See if we can get a look here at what happened there. Zinn on the inside of Hammonds. Oh yeah, just dove up underneath, tagged Greenhoe, and now he's got some damage on the left front. But our leader, DJ Alessandrini, quickly opening up a second over John Cooper. Coop embroiled in that battle, our pole sitter for heat number 2. Down 1 spot, but this would be a great finish right now for Jonathan Cooper and his championship aspirations in points haul right now.
Oh yeah, finishing second here in the second heat is nothing to shake a fist at. I mean, you finished 4th in the first heat, and he's looking for a second right now, but he's still got Michael Chase all over his bumper. So one more little bobble, all Chase has got to do is stay in his mirror and let the mistakes ensue.
And on the bottom screen, we've got the battle going on between Aaron Sunday, Joseph Marr, and Kevin Zhu. That's battling for 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then again, the race we've been focusing on up top, Cooper, Chase, Greenhoe, Zinn, and Hammonds. That's a 5-car battle for second place. As it looks like DJ Alessandrini just can continue to open up that gap up top as Michael Chase thinks about trying to make a move around the outside of Cooper. Not able to get enough overrun into turn 2. It's tough here. I think you mentioned it before, Adam, where the 2 straights that you have aren't real long, where you don't get a lot of draft to really try and get that overrun to make a move into the following corner.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Yeah, there's not a lot of... Oh, you see Stan Hammond sideways there. I'm watching it here on the other overlay. He's got these tires heated up as he was going through the S's. He was sideways, but that's about par for the course for Stan Hammonds right now. But yeah, everything's just more or less a technical corner. So you've got to set these entries and exits up. If you overdrive the entry in any of these, especially 17 or any, 9 or 5, your exit's going to be terrible. So you've got to take that in consideration.
Yeah, it's we've seen the cars sliding around every which way. Track temps are getting even hotter as the race goes on. These tires are getting slippery. We've got in the in lane now, we got Michael Brock as he's battling it out with Roman Bykov, your pick from race number 1 to perform. Unfortunately, he got wrapped up in that incident, but he's got himself up 2 positions right now, Adam, into 9th place. He's trying to get one away from Michael Brock. Michael Brock trying to chase down Spencer Bodway up ahead of him. And then they've got Mark Miller in behind. So they're just behind this lead pack that we're focusing on right now. If they can kind of work together, they still got time to get up in there and potentially try and battle it out for 2nd place.
Yeah, they still got plenty of time as we've got a little over 6 minutes left. And, Roman Bykov just did not have the performance tonight that he wished he had. He was very solid in practice, but, between getting caught up in some stuff and,
he just
as we see,
Brock.
Yep.
Roman Bykov gets into the back bumper. Michael Brock is going to let him get back on track. They're going to lose a number of positions as they get that sorted out. Let's take another look here at what happened there. You see Bykov trying to put pressure on the back of Michael Brock. Just gets a little tap in the right rear, sends him around, and unfortunately for Michael Brock, lose a number of positions there. Mark Miller goes by, Ozik Sulu. Not sure who that car was there. Roman Bykov, Joseph Mara right in there too as well. So,
yep, lost quite a bit of ground on that very late braking from Roman Bykov.
As we see Zinn and Hammond still going at it. Hammond's going to make a move around Zinn. We've seen them battling. Like I say, what are we at? We've run 35 minutes now of racing, Adam. We've seen them battle for probably 33 minutes of that 35 minutes. So
yes,
they just can't seem to find anybody else to dance with on track. But speaking of dancing, we got a 3-car tango up front here. Cooper still hold on to 2nd place, but Greenhoe trying to make a move around the outside of Michael Chase as they head into turn 15 and 16. See who gets the better run and exit out of that corner. Greenhoe going to go squirrely. That's going to open up the door for Hammonds to try and make a move now. So Greenhoe went from the offensive onto the defensive now.
Yeah, that's right. And looks like Hammonds finally did get around Zinn, and he's going to try to pick this spot up on Kelly Greenhoe, and he's going to do it with ease. How about that?
Yeah, Kelly, a driver who usually won't push the envelope as far as battling. If you get that position, he'll usually back out and try and regroup. So we'll see what Kelly can do here, see if he can try and find his way around Stan Hammonds. But that's going to open up a little bit of breathing room for Jonathan Cooper in 2nd place as that's dropped Michael Chase off his rear bumper a little bit. He's actually going to have Stan Hammonds starting to put some pressure on the back of Chase. So we'll see if Cooper able to open up a bit of a gap like our leader, DJ Alessandrini, has done now, almost 4 seconds ahead of that battle for 2nd place.
Yeah, this is what Cooper wanted to see, a nice solid performance, a nice solid finish. So Michael Chase still trying to close the gap as we see Hammonds and Greenhoe side by side back here.
And Hammonds trying to hold off Greenhoe. We saw him get around him early on, or earlier in this lap, but it looks like Greenhoe going to try and fight back. Hammond's going to have the inside line though through turn 9 and 10. We've seen a number of drivers trying to make that move around the outside. None of them really been able to make it work so far, Adam, as it looks like Hammond's going to hold on that spot. Greenhoe almost lost another spot to Zinn. So I'm going to say that move around the outside that we saw a number of drivers try, it never seems to work out. It actually seems to cost them more time than any real advantage they would have got out of that, where they usually end up coming out of that corner defending rather than being on the offensive trying to take a position away.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see, Hammond's still sideways. He's heating those tires up, trying to do everything he can to stay in front of Greenhoe here. Greenhoe's putting a ton of pressure on Hammond's. Going to see what he can do here. He's going to not push the issue. Just as you said earlier, Kelly Greenhoe is not an aggressive driver by no means. Oh, as you see him in the wall, that's going to bring Brian Zinn right up to his bumper.
Yeah, we'll see if Zinn can make a move here into turn 2. Some nostrils on the front hood of that car. It's going to look to the inside, which unfortunately for Zinn is going to translate to the outside at the top of the hill. That is going to benefit Greenhoe. Zinn going to try the crossover, not going to work for him. Kelly going to hold on to that spot right now, but he has to go on the defensive. The skeleton Rexy-esque paint job by Zinn, trying to scare a move out of Kelly Greenhoe. Scared him off the track there a little bit, but Greenhoe kept the throttle down, didn't lose any time. But Spencer Bodway now into this pack, right in behind Brian Zinn.
Yep, that brought Spencer Bodwin right up to Brian Zinn. And you know, I don't see where Kelly Greenhoe really gets too scared. I think he focuses more out the windshield than he does in the mirror, so he makes way less mistakes. It's going to be really hard to get around him. As we see a battle here up front between Cooper and Chase. Chase not doing it, not going to be able to get that position though.
Yeah, it looks like Chase trying to make that move, but Cooper, I'm going to say hats off to Cooper. We've seen him put on a heck of a defensive show here tonight. He held off DJ for what seemed like 3-4 laps. He's been able to hold off Michael Chase so far. So well done by Jonathan Cooper, as he's only got one more lap to really hold off to take the second spot in heat number 2.
It looks like they're going to take the white flag here, correct, and give him one to do something. Yeah, I don't know if Chase is going to have what it takes to get to Cooper. All he's got to do is be aggressive for one lap here.
Yeah, it's so many blind corners here. All it takes is to force the concentration off the driver ahead of you for a minute, send them off track, and then you can snatch that spot away. A lot of these blind uphill corners, lose your concentration for a minute, and we've seen a number of drivers go off into the grass, but they've been able to keep the pedal down and keep going. Cooper's been one of them. Greenhoe's been one of them. We'll see right now if Michael Chase able to force a mistake as we're on the last lap here now. Alessandrini, barring any mistake, is going to have this one to go back-to-back in heat races here tonight, but looks like the battle right now to finish up the podium is between Cooper and Chase.
Yeah, Alessandrini putting on a dominating performance tonight. Looks like he's going to go on to win both heat races. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick.
Let's pop back here a little farther behind them. Cooper leads this pack. Greenhoe and Hammond's right there too as well, as they're now looking up the outside. As Coop trying to hold the defensive line against Chase. Chase having to take the wide line. Hammond's looking to the inside too as well. He's trying to capitalize. Chase almost gets into Hammond's as he gets up on the curb, and that's going to throw the car back out to the right. But thankfully, they all get through there. Greenhoe sitting in maybe the catbird seat if things come to blow here, as Hammond's going to drop a couple tires off in the grass.
Yeah, I don't think Greenhoe's going to push the issue much on Hammond's. They've only got a couple corners left to do something, but I think Hammond's is going to try to push the issue on Michael Chase here. We're going to see as we're going down into turn 17 for the final time.
There we got them on the bottom screen. Our leader, DJ Alessandrini, going to come across to take the checkered flag. Cooper going to defend. Hammonds makes that move around Chase to hold on to third place. Drag race to the line. It's like Hammond's going to take that spot. Michael Chase going to fall down to fourth place. Greenhoe trying to make the move on the inside, but he's unfortunately not going to get that spot. So what a dash to the finish for them. Ozik Sulu, Roman Bykov, they're in a drag race to the start-finish line too as well. It's like Bykov going to take that spot away. Joshua Teeter and Sean Teeter and Joshua Smith to the checkered flag. Teeter going to hold off the charge from Joshua Smith. It's a heck of a finish there amongst our top five, Adam.
Oh yeah, some very aggressive dropping there from Stan Hammonds on that last lap to try to get into that third spot. I can't believe he done it. I thought Michael Chase was going to be a little bit more aggressive, and he was.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Michael Chase, the last was it from turn 9 all the way to turn 15, he just kind of found himself on the wrong side of each corner in the suboptimal line and just couldn't get the run to really defend. And unfortunately for him, Hammonds found his way onto the optimal line, was able to carry a little more pace, and into that final corner was able to make the move up underneath. But well done by all. Hats off to all our drivers at the end, coming home clean, as it could have went sideways very quickly anytime through that final lap, Adam.
Yeah, there was a few accidents through both heat races, but man, it was all in all, it was a nice, clean race. very impressed with all these drivers that came out tonight. I mean, we had a pretty good field with 24 drivers and pretty, nice hard racing all the way from first all the way back to the back.
Absolutely. So it looked like we're just waiting for one more driver still to finish up. There we go. They are all in the record books now. DJ Alessandrini takes top spot over John Cooper and Stan Hammonds. Michael Chase in fourth. Kelly Greenhoe in fifth. Zin Bodway, Miller, Zoo, and Marr round out your top 10. Exulu Sunday, our top AM driver, in 12th. Michael Brock in 13th. Corey Mitchell, 14th. And Joshua Smith in 16th place, rounding out the AM side of things. Sean Teeter in 15th. Dylan Foster, Chris King, Roman Bykoff, and Uwe Hale round out your top 20. 21st goes to Benjamin Dewar. And then we've got a couple cars in the used car parking lot. Kent Kruger, Joshua Soto, Carrick Ball, and Vincula, I believe, did not grid up for race number 2. So we will see them maybe next week. We've got a couple drivers waiting in the guest waiting room here. Adam, it looks like let's bring in. So we got Stan Hammonds in here. Stan, a heck of a race you had there at the end of race number 2. You're able to make the move on Michael Chase at the end to get that final step on the podium.
Yeah, that was a good one. I almost absolutely nuked Kelly and Brian there into turn like 5 or something there in the middle of the race. I went in so deep and almost killed all of us, and somehow we lived. So glad I didn't kill those guys. And then, honestly, I think with Michael there at the end, like, that's how I almost killed everybody in my wreck, was braking offline. I just didn't know where to brake, and I went way too deep. I think he went maybe the other way. I think he was a little cautious trying to wrap the bottom and just braked so early that I was able to pull in there ahead of him. But yeah, man, it was a fun race and lots of passes, but it's hard to pass here. Golly, it's hard to pass. Like I was working hard for every single pass I made, except for the one on Zen, who was kind enough to let me go by there after I tried to kill him. So big shout out to Zen, and yeah, that was a fun race. That was a good time. I didn't see any wrecks, so I don't know. You guys probably saw if there was stuff going on, but I didn't see anything going on.
Yeah, there was a few out there, but it could have been a lot worse with 25 cars on track. But you got into it a couple times. We saw where you made the move up underneath Zin, and you kind of tagged the right rear of Kelly Greenhoe. So don't think we didn't catch that one. We saw that little bit of damage on the left front of your car there. Could have went sideways there, but thankfully all three of you were able to get through. But I guess all in all, jumping in at the last minute, a third place here, and I think what were you, 8th place in heat number 1? Relatively decent finish day for you.
Yeah. I think I passed the most cars in both races, maybe. So, yeah, all in all, a good day for showing up with no prep, just doing it live. So that was a good time, and yeah, I thought, maybe I could get away with that, but then I could see my my paint job looking at me on my hood after I drove in there. I don't know how I didn't spin Kelly. That was just a freaking miracle that I didn't absolutely ruin his race there. So I got a little damage out of the deal, which was well deserved, and we all carried on. So yeah, good times. Good times.
Excellent stuff. Next week is Spa. If I remember correctly, you won't be here based on your schedule of week on, week off, or will you be racing with us?
I think I will be here for that one. I'm pretty sure that Sunday, because this is my vacation week. So I believe I'm going to be here for that. And then the following one, I think, is when I'm gone. But yeah, Miata's at Spa. What could go wrong? That'll be super fun.
Excellent stuff. Give us some shout outs here, Stan, before we let you go.
Oh, shout outs? Man, shout out to Racer Nexus, first of all, because the broadcasts are awesome. Loving that. Shout out Sky Lounge with my boys, Tyler, Matt, Rob. Let's see, who else am I shouting out here? Man, shout out Mazda. Shout out Apex This. And another shout out to Brian Zinn for actually, like, letting me go after I tried to murder him big time. So Big big ups to that guy. And man, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. You got to let me know when you're going to ask for shout outs. I'll make a list next time.
You broadcast with me, Stan. You know there's always shout outs at the end of the interview.
Yeah, but
you should
that's
always be
yeah,
prepared.
but you're grossly overestimating how much attention I pay. I'm just like, ooh, a race car. Let's talk about it.
Well, excellent stuff. I hope to see you at the bottom end of the field. I mean, the sharp end of the field next week at Spa. And maybe you can start at the back, see how many cars you can pass next week. But I have to let you know, Kevin Zhu passed 14 in heat number 2, so he might have just got you for the most amount of passes.
Yeah, he for sure got me in number 2. I think I had 13 in number 1. I don't remember, but it was, dang it. I just have to do better, Rob. I just have to like send it harder.
It was close. Either way, best of luck next week to you.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for the broadcast, and yeah, we'll catch you next week. I should be here for that.
Take care.
See ya.
We had Corey Mitchell in the waiting room. Looks like he has ducked out too as well. Nobody else wants to talk to us this evening, Adam. So I guess that will wrap it up here for interviews. Give us a little recap of how you thought the racing how the racing went here this evening.
You know, I'm extremely impressed with what Stan Hammond had to offer here tonight in this field. I mean, he started 22nd, I believe, in the first heat, got all the way up to 9th place, and then rallied up to the 3rd spot in heat number 2. And, you know, I just thought it was super clean, but very competitive. And from what I've seen in past broadcasts and past races of Apex this, I mean, this is exactly what the league has to offer. Nice, clean, hard racing, and a lot of kind and courteous and sportsmanlike conduct out there. I mean, we saw some guys that spun, you know, some other guys, they waited on track, let them get back ahead of them. I mean, dude, you won't find that in just a couple of leagues, maybe out of thousands that iRacing has to offer, you know. So that's what set Apex this, you know, it's top tier.
Absolutely. And if you're out there watching and you're interested of potentially joining the league, you can find the Discord link in the description of the video. They're always recruiting, as they're always looking for more drivers interested in driving Miatas. They do racing 3 times a week. Tuesdays, I believe, is GT4 this season. And it switches up Fridays and Saturdays back and forth for various cars throughout the season. I believe this season they're doing Indy cars. Other seasons it's been jumpy trucks. It's been a little bit of everything. That's kind of the fun little last minute type thing on the weekends. But definitely, if you're looking to do some Mazda racing or GT4 racing, you can find that here at Apex this on Sundays and Tuesdays. You can catch us again this week. Tomorrow night I'll be covering the final SOF race that I'll be covering on Racers Nexus of the Production Car Challenge. It's the official SOF broadcast. Tuesday night we'll be back with Throttle Freaks GT3 action. Wednesday night will be Left Turn Racing in the Tobacco Road Sim Racing League. I believe we are at Bristol this week. That should be an interesting one in the next gen cars. And then potentially some more oval action Friday and Saturday yet to be confirmed. Still lots of action coming your way on the Racers Nexus channel. Again, I am Rob Campbell. In the booth with me this evening has been Adam Gladfelter. You can catch him on the channel too as well. We'll catch you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.